Hey there, me again. I got a toy. No, it's not another car, not another Jimny, not another Mini. But if you've been watching my channel, you know a big part of the stuff that I do is designing and printing parts. I've done, 20, 30 at least different things for the Jimny. Everything from fog light covers to bumper caps to the tow hook caps to the backlit logo to the caps for the handles on the roof rack, lug nut caps, wheel hubs, valve stems, phone mounts, cup holders in a variety of formats, door handles, the enclosure for my power windows, just a ton of stuff. And I've gotten pretty good at using my trusty old calipers and Autodesk Fusion to do stuff. So I'm sure you've seen plenty of it in my videos, or you've bought stuff off my website because I offer them for sale. I've done logos for the back. Tried this one with a silver silk just to see if I could get like a shimmery, and it's not bad. It came out pretty good. I know I may or may not use it. But anyway, I have also done a ton of stuff for the Minis. I've done a bunch of different kind of screw-in mounting phone mounts. So using the same kind of design as the one that's in the Jimny, this one snaps into where the ashtray is on the Minis on the dashboards, and then super easy, works great. I've got them in both my Minis and they are really, really nice. I even did something for my Mustang Mach-E. This was a file I found. I didn't design this one, but it just holds a MagSafe and replaces the center console so you can lay your phone on top and it charges, and it works pretty good. The one that the car comes with, it has a MagSafe charger, but it's terrible. But anyway, I thought I should take it up a notch. And so I bought a new toy, and that toy is a 3D scanner. It's gonna change the way that I design. I'm sure calipers will still be a big part of it, but this is gonna get me the ability, especially on some more complex curves, to get some really good kind of detailed drawings that I can work from. So I've already played around with it a little bit, and I did some kind of, I'll flip over here in a bit to my laptop, and I'll walk through some of what the scans look like, how you can build around them and stuff, just as a real quick. It's not gonna be a tutorial, but just kind of show you how it's done. But I bought the Creality Ferret Pro. This is the meat of it. It's just a little 3D camera. It's got a variety of ways it can work. You can plug it into a bridge, which is what this is, and then it gives you remote access, so you don't have to be tethered to anything. So you can do it either from a laptop, like watch from a laptop screen while you're scanning without needing to be tethered to your laptop. You can tether to the laptop, which will give you better speeds, better frame rates, or you can actually do it directly from your phone using the same bridge. So the phone does all the kind of upfront, visualization of the scanning, and then you can take the file and upload it back to your laptop and process it from there. So I say laptop because that's what I use, but your computer. And so I've messed around with it. Again, I'll throw up a couple of scans that I've done as a just kind of test playing around things. But I thought I'd show you a little bit of how it works and give you an idea on how I'm going to use it. But yeah, it's exciting. I think it's going to change the way that I do stuff. And I'm thinking about doing some extreme stuff, like maybe even designing a custom grill. I go back and forth on this idea of this Jeep grill. Like, I don't hate it, I don't love it, but I've seen some kind of chunkier ones that I think are pretty cool that don't, so closely mimic the idea of a Jeep or a Hummer. But then it would also allow me to integrate in my backlit logo idea. So it's not, because it sticks out probably almost 2 inches all in once you get everything done in there. But if I was able to recess it, design it into the grill, like, I think that'd be pretty cool. Now, of course, I don't have a printer big enough, just print a whole grill. But I would say in 1, 2, 3, I don't know, maybe 8 sections, glue them all back together, sand, prime, Bondo, whole works, you know, get it nice and smooth and paint it. It might be worth the effort. So I'm thinking about pulling my bumper off or my grill off, getting a really good scan of the shape, the size, the clips, using it as a template to kind of redesign inside of. So stay tuned. That might be a big project, but I'm really thinking about doing that. I'm also thinking about, like, on the intercooler opening, thinking about doing some kind of like cover design for it. So like with a honeycomb pattern or something like that, that kind of snaps into place and just adds a little, you know, something to that, you know, just because. And I've got a few other ideas that I'm going to scan some stuff. The center console, I know that's, you know, hard to find here. I think I can probably produce that. It'd be 2 pieces that would get kind of snapped together, and I think it would look pretty good. I'm not sure I'd go the length of Bondo and paint and stuff, but I think I could get it to snap together pretty good and look decent. So that's something I'm thinking about. And the one thing that I started a while back, and I did it manually, and I feel like I got pretty close, but I just kind of stopped, and I think I might pick it back up, is designing the single din bracket, the you know, for the single din head unit to house the double din. So I'd lose the ashtray, lose the lighter bank, gain that height back in there, and then design something that sits in there. Now, I've got to look at it again because on the back side, there is stuff in the way. And I don't know if I can work around it or if that would have to be like cut out. I don't think it'd be in the end of the world if it was cut out. Worst case, I feel like you could put everything back and it would still, you'd never know. And I don't think what's back there is truly structural. So something I've got to look at. But that's something that I think I would definitely like to upgrade to a double din. And I think there's some of you out there would probably be interested in it too. So that's on my list. That's probably the big one that I want to get done. I'm not looking forward to pulling out my digital gauges, my head unit again to take it so I can scan it. But it's the best way to do it. And that's what so I'm going to end up having to do that. But I also 3D printed, and I'm trying to reach it. And it's an interesting setup, but this. And this is a Lazy Susan type thing. So I can lay parts on this, and while I'm scanning, I can just spin it around. And you can see how good it spins because it's actually sitting on a bearing. So I found this design online. I did not design this either. Super cool. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the flat piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for those. Just got magnets that you put on here. And then there's the bearing, and it's just got a twist on to hold the bearing in place. And so when you set that on top, so that's 2 more pieces, the magnets hold on to the bearing, and then you get this really cool, and it spins really good. So I thought that was a super cool design. I'll throw that in the description for anybody that's got a 3D printer, 3D scanner, wants something like this. You can buy, obviously, Lazy Susans or whatever, but I thought this was a really cool thing. I'll probably throw a bunch of the scanning dots, if you know anything about scanning, on this, just to make sure it recognizes the surface of all this kind of stuff. But I thought the console would be a really good thing to start with because it's a fairly simple shape, fairly something easy for me to design, but it'd be really cool to have the 3D file to start as a reference point. So I'm going to do that. And that might be what we actually walk through when I show you how I'm going to scan. So yeah, that's my toy. I'll flip over. I have to figure out how to record myself scanning because I've used my phone. So I think I might just have to do either a tethered to the laptop and film that part. I'll figure it out, but I'd like to show you the scanning process and then show you on my laptop when I pull it in what it looks like and kind of walk you through that. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna flip over, we're gonna scan the console. And then once we get the console scanned, I'll show you how we bring it into the computer and how I'll work with it and model ideally the console. And I think that'll be a pretty cool thing to have. And we'll figure out how to split it, make it fit on the printer, put it back together, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So hang around, and that's what we'll do next. Okay, I'm gonna do this a little backwards. I'm not that comfortable with 3D scanning yet, so I wanted to kind of show you a little bit of my result before I jump over to kind of showing you what it looks like with the scanner plugged in. But I'm in Fusion. This is where I design all my stuff. If you look over here, Jimny stuff, it's all the different stuff I've designed. You might recognize some of it, from the cup holders to gauges, all sorts of stuff. But this is where I design everything. And this is, I just imported the STL file that came from the 3D scanner into Fusion for my console. And this is it. It's not perfect. You can see I got a little bit of artifacts over here. I didn't capture the full edge here. There's a little bit of funkiness going on here, but I have plenty to work with, right? So if you think about it, if I go to the top view here, like I can very easily get the shape of this pretty close without needing to know exactly what the shape is. Same with here, same with this kind of shape here. So what I'll probably do is draw this shape out, design the kind of the side profile, extrude it over, get the shape that I want, or maybe I'll do it from the bottoms up, from the here to here, with that taper, and then start dropping in these holes. That actually might be a better way of doing it. So there's different ways that I can do it. So real quick, I'll just show you, like, if I go to the bottom, create a quick sketch. When I do a rectangle, and you get pretty close to the shape. I'm going to do this super fast. This is not going to be final whatsoever. Get close to the shape. I can hit finish sketch. Oh, I'm not on the surface. Let's try that again. Let me just move my sketch to be on the surface. It'll get close enough. This is not the way to do it. So for all you Fusion experts out there, I'm just quickly demonstrating enough of what I'll do, but I'll do it right and I'll get it all lined up. That's pretty close to the bottom of what a clean bottom would look like. And then what I would do is probably take this, extrude it up to the top. And that's 100 millimeters. Maybe go 110, 130, 120, 115. So you just kind of get it close. Again, this is not, I'm going to keep it at 120. This does not need to, oh my goodness. Because this isn't like a fit that has to be perfect, right? It's just in between the seats. It'll I don't have to worry so much about it being perfect. So then what I would probably do is I'd probably do another sketch on the side here, and then retrace this shape a bit. So again, I'm doing this super, I'm just gonna go like beyond the shape. Just do a line here. Just try to match that angle. Then I'll do another one over here. Try to match that angle. And do another one here. I'll match this angle. This one's got a little bit of, it looks like it has a little bit of curve to it. It's fine. Again, I don't think it has to be perfect, but I could do a, let's do that. I can do like a 3-point arc and get it pretty close from here to here. And you can put a little bit of a curve on there. And we can move it. It's better because I can put curves on these corners. Maybe I'll do a quick one here just because it looks like this comes down a little bit of an angle here. Then if you finish that, then what I can do is I can select that shape. I can extrude it, but then I think I can intersect it. And what happens there is it keeps no target body found because I had it turned off. Say okay. And then if I turn that off, it's like there's your basic shape, right? Super easy, super fast. And then all I got to do, again, I'm not going to do this perfect. I'm just going to show you an example. Like I can do a sketch here. I can put a rectangle here. I can extrude that down to whatever depth I need to go. Let's just call that good. I'll do another one on this. That's got a curve, so I can't do in there. So I'm going to have to create a plan, so I'm not going to do that now. But when it's all said and done, then all I have to do is click on this on the bottom. I can go to hollow, do 2 millimeters, and then it hollows it out for me. So you're not filling all that with material. So again, that's super high level on how I do. Obviously a lot of refinement when you start adding in like, fun fillets to smooth out these corners. You make it pretty. So anyway, I'm going to get rid of all that. Just wanted to kind of show you like how I work. But from here, what I want to do is go into Creality and connect my scanner. You can see my console is here. So if I open it up, you can see like I put the dots on it to try to get a better capture. Again, you can see my capture. I had holes. I didn't pay attention as well as I should have. But you get the idea. Like you could see my scan was enough. But I'm going to do a quick scan just to kind of show you. I don't know how to close this. Go home. Okay. This is probably the third time I've used this, so I'm new to this. So I'm going to do a new project. New project. I don't know, I'm not able to, I probably have to plug my scanner in first. So my scanner wasn't plugged in. I'm going to plug it in. It should recognize it. So it says scanner disconnected. There it goes, scanner connected, new project. There you go. I'm just going to put this in downloads folder just to get it out of the way for now. I don't care what it's called. And then you can set all these settings. So if you're doing a face or a body, which I don't see why I would do that. And then you can choose large, medium, small item. I'm going to do is medium. I just need the geometry. So I'm going to do that. And you can do faster, high quality. And what can we scan here? What if we did, I'm going to do a pair of needle nose pliers just to kind of show you. So you can do preview here and you start to see, you get a window. You can see on the right in those two windows is my camera. And then you can see how I got to get it, that little optimal green. And then once you kind of figure out your distance that you need, then you can just hit start and it starts scanning. And you just kind of take your time, keep it in the optimal, go around it. You grab some good shots. I'm going to do this like not amazing. And we're just going to kind of see how it turns out. You'll be surprised on how decent it works. Flat surfaces, shiny surfaces, like don't work great. That's what those dots are for. Those dots will help kind of pick up what you need. So I'm going a little upside down here just to get the other side of it. And I'm getting out of my range here a bit because I can't control it from that angle, but I'm going to try to get like down low. I don't want to lose tracking. So that was me potentially losing a little bit of tracking here, but you get the gist, right? You get in there, you do a really good scan. Then when you're done, you can just say finish. And that gives you a quick look. These are just the points that it created, right? So we'll go to mesh processing. I'm going to do one click. One click does a nice job of kind of just doing it for you. You don't have to do all the work of all the different settings. It kind of just does it in one fell swoop. It's interesting because I'm directly connected to my computer in this case, and I'm not really given, and I need to figure this out. This is brand new. I'm not really given the option to pick and customize my settings. I'm only given the one-step process setting. When I do it from my phone, like one of the last things I scanned it without being connected to anything but my phone over Wi-Fi. And then when I was done, I captured it and then I uploaded it to my laptop and processed it from there. And I had a whole slew of things I could pick and choose and change. And it worked great. The console that I just showed you in Fusion, I did with the one-step process, and you saw the quality was pretty good. So here's the color mapped version of it. Like, it did a pretty good job. I didn't get the bottom of, so obviously it doesn't know what to do with the bottom. What I could do is do a second scan, flip that over, get the other side, and then piece them back together, and you get the whole thing. If I were to model this, I'd probably model it from the top down anyway. It's symmetrical, so I could make up the backside just from the top side. But anyway, like, I can turn the texture off and just go to my mesh, and that's the more or less the finished product. And then what I can do is I can go in here and I can get rid of all this extra stuff. So you don't bring it in. You're not carrying extra triangles that you've got to process. Does a pretty good job of just kind of getting rid of all this junk. So you do this real quick. Again, I'm doing this so fast just to kind of give you a quick demo. I don't know how interested you are, but I find it pretty fascinating. So let's just say that's good, right? That's my model. And it's as simple as from here, I just hit export. Oh, I don't want to, man, I didn't save first. Okay, save, export, save it. It's called mesh. And then we can go back into Fusion. If I do a new project and insert mesh, and I pick that, so there's my mesh. Open it, and here it like wants me to place it. So this is where you'd want to like do your best to center it over the origin point. For those that understand, like you kind of want stuff to be, they're easier to work with in the navigation of the whole kind of setup when that's close enough. So there it is. So there's your mesh, and then, you know, if it were enclosed, you'd be obviously be able to see it all, but I only scan the top half. But and then you can work with it. So at the end of the day, like when you really look at this, like it's super fast, super easy. I will likely almost never scan something with the expectation that I can just print it, right? I will always scan it as a reference to build around. So let's just say in this example, I wanted to put a cap on this, right? Like I wanted some kind of like protective, and I can move this after the fact too, if I want to just kind of get it more, that's a little better. So then if I was like, I want to put a cap on this, the beauty of it is I can work with these dimensions and it's within like 0.1, 0.3 millimeters of accuracy. So if I draw right along all this stuff, if I wanted to like do a cap and I just wanted to be like, I just want a triangle cap that's going to cover up and protect my tools, I literally could do something as simple as this. And then again, because I probably didn't have it on the right plane, I'm just going to move it for now instead of messing with the plane. So you get this, you know, it's 240, let's give negative 238. There you go, it's sitting off of that. I can put a little rotation on it. So you get your angle, say okay. I can copy and paste this, bring it over here, do the other angle. Say okay. Whoops. I don't know why that's disappearing. Anyway. And then I can, I only grabbed a line, not the whole thing. So let's just finish this off to prove a point. So I could just do the rest of the triangle. It's to shape. I'm gonna finish it. Oh God. You get my point, right? I can extrude this. I could put a angle on it. It's the wrong angle, but if I did something like that and you do it to size, I'm sorry, I'm trying to show you an example and I'm doing it terribly. But anyway, the idea is like I can work right up against these scans and get pretty accurate stuff. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm not going to keep this. I just did this for fun. I'm going to render this the best I can. So what I'll do is, what's nice about Fusion is you've got this little timeline down here. It records everything that you do. And then I can hit play and it'll animate through my work. So what I'm going to do is try to recreate this. And then I can do a high speed run through of the build, and then you can see the finished product. And then what I'm going to have to do, because my printer is not big enough to print this, I'm going to have to cut it in half, print it in 2 parts, and then find a way to ideally just get them to snap back together, maybe with some super glue. You know, once it's together, it doesn't matter. And I think the seam will be pretty well hidden. I did something else that came out pretty nice that I was pretty happy with. So I might try that, but it's going to have to be 2 pieces, and I'd rather not shorten it, right? Because you lose the depth of this, and your mounting points are right where those little dimples are. Those are your screw holes. And then on the bottom, there's some other parts that kind of hold it in place. Although I think that those 2 screws are probably more than enough once you get it slid through the e-brake handle. And then you can kind of see the shape right here. That is a rubber piece that's attached to the back side of the console, just as kind of like a protector for, I don't know, but dust shield or something for the e-brake. So I can actually probably incorporate that and print that out TPU, which is a flexible material, and still kind of keep the same idea. So I'm gonna try to knock this out and see how close I can get. This should be an opening. It should be a hole. It shouldn't be closed like that. But this one here, I try to go out of my way to like capture this shape. Again, there's some artifacts that I can work around. And so we'll start rendering here and see how close we get. So I'll flip over and you can kind of see it quick, and then we'll hopefully, what I'll do after this is show you like a finished, how I'm going to print it, and then show you the printed product at the end. So hang in there. All right, good morning. It's the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Do have a 10% off deal running on my website, although this is going to be out months later, so I'm sure there'll be others. Just wanted to, I got the parts printed, so you saw the design, you saw the work there. Hopefully that was helpful. I know it wasn't a tutorial, but hopefully it was enough to kind of give you an idea on how I work. Scanner is pretty cool. Really enjoying it. I'm sure you can do a lot better with a much nicer scanner. But I didn't want to spend a lot. I've been doing pretty good without one, at least in my opinion. But I thought I'd just up my game a bit. So anyway, got the 2 parts printed. If you saw my Facebook post, this part took 11-ish hours to print. And this part took 18 hours to print. Now, I printed it, if you know anything about printing, I printed it this way, knowing it'd be a ton of supports, but I wanted like a better finish, which is why I went this route. There are probably cleaner ways that I could probably print it like this, with some supports down here that it wouldn't need nearly as many supports on the inside, and would probably be some supports out here, but it'd probably be faster. Even this way, this part is pretty flat, so I could this would probably be super fast to print, and I'd get the bed finish here, which isn't awful, but I wouldn't get it here because this is not flat. Now I could put the flat end down with some supports. It'd take a little bit of cleanup. Maybe I could get it to stand this way. Same thing, it's fairly flat. So I got some playing around to do, but I just went for it. And unfortunately, I'm not sure you can see this in the video. I think you can. You see this curve? That's supposed to be flat. See the curve in the backside on this one? So on this one, it's here. It's supposed to be flat. Now that is just the nature of 3D printing. This is cheap, translucent PLA material. I know if I printed it on my other printer and I printed it with better film, I'm not gonna have that problem. So I'm not worried about it. This was intended to be a test print, but as you can see, it goes together pretty well. I tried to print clips and I thought I'd get a little bit more of a lock into place feel from it, but I don't, which is fine. Again, this is just a mock-up and I wouldn't recommend that in use. It would just snap together. I mean, I'm gonna super glue it together, which is what I'm gonna do right now. Because what I thought is, even with this version here, despite the fact that it's not perfect, like I might just throw a coat of paint on it, just to see, you know, without sanding, without cleaning up or anything, just to see for those of you that might want to print this file or you know, want me to print it for you or whatever, you know, could it be cleaned up in a, you know, in a way that would work? I think the carbon fiber PETG that I normally use is going to have a super nice finish, so I'm actually not that worried about it at all. But this was a good starting point. So I'm gonna throw some glue on this and then I'm gonna throw it in the car and we're gonna see how it does. So you're gonna be able to see my glue lines, and I don't care. Again, this is just intended to mock up. It's probably more of a mock up than it needs to be. I don't know if you're familiar with this kind of glue, but man, it's nice to see how fast that dries when you have that spray. I'm gonna give it a second still, but yeah, we'll get it in the car and we'll see. I'll pull the old one out, we'll put them side by side, we'll see how close they are. Because I haven't checked it yet. I reinstalled my one after I scanned it, so I'll pull it back out and we'll see how it goes. So, okay, I think that's gonna be good enough. I'm gonna take advantage of what I tried to design as a guide. Again, it's gonna be far from perfect, but it's gonna get us what we need for a mock-up. We'll see how well this looks. I mean, my idea with these clips, it wasn't a bad idea. It just didn't work. I've got another idea on how to better slot them together so that, I mean, I only really did it to help line up. I didn't do it as a permanent, you know, way to hold it together. So the idea was just give me a way to line it up nicely, which it's doing, it's helping, but it's certainly not a permanent fix. So I'm just gonna run another bead down the outside just to play it safe. I don't want the thing falling apart on me. It's already together, so I don't really need to do anything there. I'm gonna run some down this side. It's not perfectly lined up, but again, part of that is just how I designed it. Okay, I think that's more than enough. Probably overkill. Anyone, I can't remember what they, CA glue. So obviously it's super glue for the most part, but this spray makes it dry. You usually will put your super glue on one end, the spray on the other end. And then when you put them together, the spray activates and it dries super fast, but you can see, like, that's it. So here's my piece. I mean, that looks like my console. So I do have if you're familiar with TPU, TPU is a rubbery material. I don't think I have anything handy in front of me that was printed in TPU. Those gaskets from my last video for the side marker lights with TPU. So rubbery, flexible. It's not rubber, but it feels like rubber. And if you look at the original console, there's a rubber flap that sits right here that just kind of helps with the, masks the e-brake. So I designed that part too, and I'd probably print that separately and glue it into place down here, or I'd see if I could print it in place, which might be really interesting, which is doable. I got a buddy that did an oil filler funnel for a Mini that kind of locks into place, and he 3D printed inline the TPU gasket. So once you lock it in, it seals. So it can be done. All right, well, let's get the old one out. Let's get them side by side, and then let's install this one and see how it turned out. All right, side by side. I am super impressed. I didn't do any measuring. I literally built it from the scan. I did no measuring whatsoever. And it's pretty close. I mean, if you weren't nitpicking, you'd never know. I mean, I'm super happy. So, I mean, this could have been a little bit more curved if you want to get nitpicky. Again, it's not level because it warped, but the pocket looks the same. You know what a good test will be? Is if my cup holder fits in. Because my cup holder were designed for this. I'm gonna grab it. Let's see how this works. I'm curious. Okay, so if you remember, or you've seen, this is my cup holder. Mine's, I got a little flare on mine. I listed these on the site. Nobody's purchased them. You do get the logos engraved when you buy it, but these are separate inserts that I've just dropped some super glue in and put them in place. Kind of nice. But it's designed to slot right in here. I put a little, see how hard does it come out? I put a little piece of foam, quarter inch, eighth inch foam on here, just to give it a little bit of rigidity. But let's see. I mean, it's not as snug as here, but I mean, how can I complain about that? I mean, that is, again, no measuring. I did no measuring at all. This is all based on just pulling the data from the 3D scans and building around that. That's all I did. So I am super happy with how, this is a little warped too, you can see. And there's also on the bottom of this, there's this little notch here that when you put it on, it's supposed to kind of lock it in place to prevent the front from lifting up. Now, one of the things you're gonna have to tell me, because mine came with one, right? And there are Jimnys out there that did not come with one, of one of these consoles. And I would assume because of what the inside of mine looks like, that you don't have the same mounting points. So on mine, you've got these mounting points here. There's a couple little step ups on the back where the screws go in, and then there's the piece in the front where this clips into. I can't imagine you have those because it wouldn't be covered. At least that's my guess. So I might have to do a version where I lose these, this doesn't really matter, and it might just be screwing it down. You'll have to tell me when this video comes out, if you're interested, you'll need to help me figure out what's the mounting point for yours if you don't have those brackets, and I'll show you when we go inside and install. But that's the only thing I was worried about, or thinking about. The other thing, just as a side note, again, the colors I ran out of orange. I bought this filament when I was playing with those side marker lights and I hated it. It doesn't look bad like this, but I mean, you can see every single layer line. And that doesn't work when you're trying to get light come through because it just exaggerates the layer lines. So to me, it ended up kind of being throwaway filament. And I burned through a lot because I've been printing other things in it too as test pieces, but this was my first initial, that I get the back holes right. So this is garbage. This will likely be garbage unless, I mean, if you wanted to do a little bit of work or you didn't care, you could use this. I might offer it online for maybe the price of the filament if anybody wants it. By the time this video comes out though, it'll be long gone. I got to figure that out. I'm really far ahead on my videos. Like it's November, right? So November 29th, 28th. I've got videos scheduled to come out midway to June of next year. I've got them coming out every 2 weeks. So at this stage, if I stay on that schedule, this doesn't come out until end of June, which is 7-8 months from now. So it's weird for me to be having these conversations, talking about selling stuff, all that, when it's 8 months later that you'll see it. So I might speed up my cadence of releases a bit. My fear was running out of content. But if you watched a couple of videos ago, you know I've got a slew of things planned. There's a slim chance I might get another K car. It's not a Jimny. That's going to be a little while. I'm considering selling my Blue Mini. It's an absolutely amazing car, but it sits a lot. I don't know why. I don't drive it very often. I drive the white one way more. But it's a great car. It's got a better engine. It's a 63 versus a 90. I don't know. I'm rambling now. But anyway, there might be another K car, which give me a whole lot of projects. And I'm not sure if I buy another K car, if my plan will be to layer them into this channel or create a separate channel. But we'll see. I know whatever I buy, I'll have a whole plan in place to design a bunch more stuff for whatever it is I buy. But I've got a plan for a K car. If it's not a K car, I've got a couple other thoughts of something, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna pick you up, move you to the inside of the car. We're gonna get this installed and we're gonna see how well it fits together. I haven't done it yet. Okay, so now we're in the Jimny. As you can see, this is what I was talking about. So this bracket here, it's welded to the vehicle. I don't know what this module is. I can't read it. My eyes are too old. Looks like it's a Mitsubishi logo though. I don't know, it's probably a brake center or something. But anyway, this is where the side mounts. There's a screw hole here and one on the other side. And this is where the back side of the console mounts. And then this here is where that piece slips in to kind of hold it in place. Now, I could design where there's I could use like one of those body panel clips, and you could, I put a hole in it and you just clip it into that. That's not a terrible idea. But you probably don't have this either. If you don't have this, you probably don't have this. So I would assume you've just got a boot on this and none of these things. So I'd love your help on how would it mount for you, since you probably don't have either of those things. But anyway, we're going to slide this on here. And the way that you do it is it goes on like this. You come all the way back and then you push it forward, and that's where it locks into that clip down here. And then the screws just go in the back. I left my screws up there, but I can see right there, they line up perfectly. So I'm not even going to bother throwing the screws in. But if I put my seat back, I mean, once I get the TPU piece here, that gets closed off and not exposed. I mean, and that is, I would argue you couldn't get a much better fit. So I'm saying this not to brag. I'm just really impressed with my own capabilities. Like, I only picked up 3D design less than a year ago, Fusion specifically, and I've really just started to play around with it, and I had no idea that I was capable of this. So my surprises and impression is not to brag on anything other than I'm really, really impressed with myself. So just so you know. But anyway, yeah, that is it. I'm probably going to throw a coat of paint on this just to make it look a little better. Because I'm curious what it'll look like when you don't see the translucent and the two colors and all that. My paint booth, pretty nice, huh? And And you can see how bad the warping looks from the side. You see it on the front, see it on the middle section. Again, I'm extremely confident that with a better material and better print, that all goes away. So I'm not worried about that whatsoever. But yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna end here. I'm not gonna bother showing you it painted. By the time you've seen this, and if you follow the Facebook group, primarily the USA Suzuki Jimny Owners group that I created, it's my real name under that, Jason. I'm not labeled as Jason in the Jimny on there. So I'm sure you know who I am on there if you're following, but I'll probably list it on there for the price of the material and plus shipping. So probably, I don't know, $20 plus shipping would be my guess, because it's probably use an entire roll of filament between my test prints and that. But it's usable. You won't see some of those imperfections once it's in place. Again, the mounting points might be tricky, but for anybody interested, yeah. Anyway, okay, that's it. If I'm confident in this in the end, I'll list it online on my website for sale. I might just sell the file instead of the print, since it is what did I say, 18 and 11, so almost a 2-day print. I don't know if I want to consume my printers for that long. It probably just costs a lot of money, more than it's worth. But I'd print it for someone that wants one. I may just list the file for sale, and then if anybody wants to print one, they can ask, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's this video. I hope it was interesting, from talking about the 3D scanner to kind of showing the scanning process and my build process, to kind of proving how accurate you can get from a scan without using a caliper one time, and get really, really, really accurate results. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you on the next one.